Who's keeping score when so much hangs in the balance?
I can show you something crazy you need to get on camera. Look on that bird feeder right there.
This little town of Egan.
I've seen the trees spinning in their front yard.
Felt the big brunt of the EF2 tornado Monday. Thankfully, no one died.
See that door right there? Came off of that industrial screw conveyors over there.
They're really sturdy doors.
2 houses, the Zelanis, the Barneses.
Glad we wasn't outside, is all I know.
With barn doors turned daggers in the wind.
I'm tired. I know, Mama.
Brittany was in the RV nearby. Her father rushed out to get her.
I literally made it like maybe 4 steps, and something had hit me. There's a bunch of cinder blocks
right there
of where it was stabilized.
The RV she was in rolled over them.
And then Sean ended up right there.
Slamming them to the ground. She's fine. He's not.
Because he's got all of his ribs that are broken, and his nose is broken, and then they had to reconnect his ear.
I feel like it's my fault because he was coming out to save me.
Scores don't matter to this mother. The number alive in her family do.
They're here. Everything else can be fixed. You got a pair of shorts up there, too.
Yeah, I know.
These families will decide next steps once the gravity of this tornado hits them a different way.
I'm sure it will in the next couple of days, or every time you look out the front door.
Or when Stephen Barnes realizes the key to that front door
Normally it sits right here with the handle this way.
was carefully hidden under a grill inside their garage.
And this is stuck to the bird feeder. Tell me how that happened.
That's Mother Nature's power on full display.
We're up one on her this time because we're still here, so.
They may have survived, or
That's the way I look at it.
just been spared. Who's keeping score? In Egan, I'm Jobin Paniker.
She got very lucky.
Yeah.
10 years old, teddy bear in tow. A child who's already lived through terror.
I got really scared and I didn't know who was her or dead. And then we started looking around on Facebook, and then I realized that all the people I knew were dead now.
What do you mean, baby? How many?
I knew all of them.
She knew all of them.
I want you to know that we love you.
And Oralia Santos was almost one of them.
She was supposed to be in that class. She has 3 cousins who were supposed to be in their class, and they didn't go to school. She was in school, but she was on the other side of the campus.
Restore us, Father, to your saving grace by the power in the name that is above every other name.
Oralia heard the gunshots, went into lockdown, hid, and survived. But her classmates did not.
I feel guilty for any ounce of happiness because so many parents went to bed with empty beds last night.
A lot of ex-coworkers,
People
a lot
we've
of
grown
friends, kids lost, like people that we know.
Babies we've watched grow up.
Yeah.
God would heal their little hearts,
Too many will never grow up.
their little souls. When you can't walk, when you can't get up,
And too many others grew up too fast.
He'll lift you up.
In Uvalde, I'm Teresa Woodard. Uvalde is a small city, but today it feels like a tiny town because
my daughter-in-law lost her little sister.
Everyone knows someone.
From where all of this happened, they saw a teacher get hit and a student get hit. I know so many people that were affected by this. And all the people that I have on Facebook, 8 out of 10 posts is somebody that was lost.
I live right across the street from the school. We heard gunshots. I grabbed my handgun and stood at my front door.
All Jesse Ortiz could think of was his granddaughter. He was carrying donuts to her the morning after. But the day of,
she was at recess, and luckily they ran into a outside restroom that had a door to an inside room, and they were able to lock themselves in.
Usually nothing wrong with this neighborhood.
Justin Rodriguez ran to the school afraid for his 4th grade nephew. He was surrounded by moms and dads.
Phone calls left and right about their child. Is mine okay? Yours is not okay. Yours is gone. Really couldn't. Really couldn't tell who was or who wasn't.
Justin's nephew survived. Half a block from Justin's grief, It sounds like some Uvalde kids don't yet understand what happened. None of us should accept that it happened again.
Temperatures are dropping by the hour.
It was 1 year ago.
The massive power outages
in North Texas.
4 million Texans and counting are without power.
The storm just hit like a monster.
And it roared for 1 whole week, the freeze that took out more than just power.
I was scared.
This is a dire situation.
It took people.
So many people are desperate.
He was found right here.
In the road?
On the road.
I was just like hoping, no.
My brother will forever be 33.
Raymond Jaimes, Donald Smith, and Kimberly Smith died during the winter storm. 246 people total across Texas.
It was the second day in, and we lost power.
Alan Brockleman cared for his mother, who was confined to a medical bed.
Her bed, the hospital bed, was right there.
A longtime nurse, Kimberly, was paralyzed, a cancer survivor, a lupus warrior.
And I picked her up.
When they lost power,
and I laid her right here, and I started doing CPR.
They lost
everything. Her bed, the heat, the things that she needs the most.
He had tried to get under this right here and try to warm up.
Donald Smith was the family comedian and grill master. They agonized over days.
Right in here is where they found his body.
Calling, searching for their brother who was homeless.
Worried that you haven't heard from him, but still trying to keep a positive mind that he's okay.
But the cold was too much.
Hypothermia, yeah.
13 below zero. That is the wind chill factor tonight in Dallas.
Dallas-Fort Worth spent 139 consecutive hours below freezing.
This was the night it had hit below zero.
We'll shatter the record low tonight.
Power went out at Raymond Jaimes' apartment, the middle brother they called Cheeto.
Freezing.
Cold and epileptic, the family fears he became confused.
After he has a seizure, my brother, he's like out of it.
We're told neighbors heard him just outside hours before he died.
Just a phone call would have saved his life.
It was people who were the most vulnerable.
Majid Nachawati says he's prepared for a fight.
They froze to death in hallways. They froze to death in chairs.
The Dallas law firm that represents hundreds of families who lost homes, lost businesses, but most importantly,
my mother,
loved ones. They represent Kimberly and Alan.
I just felt like I was lied to. I just want to know who's lying to me and who's not.
When you combine irresponsibility at the governmental levels with deregulation gone awry, bad things happen.
Their lawsuit names ERCOT. It also names gas and power companies across Texas.
How did the system fail Texas so badly?
Majid argues they put profits over people.
It's hard to sleep in here.
40 hours without power. It was Alan's son.
He found her.
Alan says it was pneumonia. Kimberly was rushed to a hospital.
I told her I love her. And thank you for everything.
Some of the last thoughts to my family from Donald.
Donald and Raymond were found lying in the snow outside.
Sometimes you can't believe it.
Donald near Northwest Highway in Abrams.
It's still hurtful when you think about it.
Where Raymond was found, there's a memorial to remember him.
Every minute of every day.
The Smith and Jaimes families want accountability too.
We pay our bills because we depend on them.
Combination of both frustration and anger.
I feel your pain and I'm right there with you.
All three families know their loved ones' stories don't end here.
I am now able to spend eternity with him in heaven.
Not like this.
I love you, Donald.
We'll see you in heaven.
What happened to them is a reminder of what never should have happened 1 year ago in Dallas. I'm Jobin Paniker. Texas weather has a reputation for being unpredictable. But we knew about the winter storm. We knew about February 2021.
Start moving the patients that are still out of power to get these guys out of these temperatures.
We did not know it would cripple our electric grid.
Well, everything around here is frozen.
Leave millions in the dark and many in the unforgiving cold.
Did they stand a chance?
They probably did not stand a chance. The temperatures were that frigid and that cold.
139 straight hours below freezing.
The intake of the decedents.
Dr. Amy Gruzecki is a forensic pathologist at American Forensics. She's seen just about everything because she had to.
It is my job to determine how somebody dies.
This was the night it had hit below zero.
It just shuts down and freeze.
Hospice care patient, very cold, need transport.
The reality is, cold kills. 246 people across Texas died that week, 22 people in Dallas County. Many were our most vulnerable population.
You're shivering, it's just gonna get colder, come on.
The homeless.
Golly, your shoes are frozen, dude.
The only contacts for many of them were the police officers who found them. The Dallas County Medical Examiner reports are a tough read. Their final moments were not in the warmth or with family. We told you earlier this week about Donald Smith and Raymond Jaimes. Both were found lying in the snow.
Where a person starts losing the feeling in their hands and their feet.
Many died of hypothermia. Medical definition: the body loses heat faster than it can produce it.
That shivering response is the body's attempt to generate heat, literally by shaking itself.
The core body temperature drops, shivering to shallow breathing, to a systematic shutdown of the heart, nervous system, and organs.
The internal organs would have that pinkish discoloration that would be much brighter.
He was out there
about 2 days.
Yeah.
Donald Smith was homeless, but more importantly, their brother.
It's the way that it happened.
He was found right here
in the road.
On the road.
Raymond Jaimes lost power to his apartment, a son, a brother, an uncle. He suffered from epilepsy. His sisters fear he had an episode.
We won't get to see him grow old.
The medical reports reveal another sad reality. 5 Dallas County cases of paradoxical undressing. Medical definition: irrational behavior in exposure to extreme cold, where the victims remove their clothes.
They start to hallucinate, and then they get confused, and they start to feel warm. They think they're warm, even though they're far from warm.
Raymond and Donald were not these cases. Dr. Gruzecki says she sees it in 1 out of 5 hypothermia cases.
The reason a person
shedding clothes only speeds up their death.
It's an unbelievable process. It's sort of scary when you hear it.
To know a loved one died this way is hard enough. But when you realize they shouldn't have died at all.
You get mad sometimes.
We want people to know his name.
When I go home at night, I replay those scenarios in my head.
246 deaths.
Carbon monoxide investigation.
246 reasons this can't happen again.
It is my job to give that individual a voice as to what happened to them.
It's the storm we knew about. We just didn't know it would hurt. Like this. In Dallas County. I'm Jovan Paniker.
Here's Nowitzki from Germany to the bucket. He meant business on that trip.
Dallas was desperate.
He also got a little nasty streak in him, too.
It needed something to root for, or someone.
With the 9th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
Who is this tall, lanky, blonde-haired dude from Germany?
Dirk Nowitzki.
The 7-foot foreign product, once a mystery, quickly showed mastery.
Nowitzki goes right at Bowen and the foul!
Scored 31,560 points in his career.
You better believe it.
They're shooting, man.
It's a 3. And it's in there. It's not going to happen right now. As he shoots a corner 3 and hits it.
There's just so many people that were a part at some point of this journey.
Gives it to Dirk. Yes, sir. Dirk!
Humble, loyal, true, an NBA champion. You can call him all that, and
filthy, dirty, and nasty. And dirty stuck.
Longtime Mavs photographer Steve Shavera knew Dirty, witnessed his greatness through a lens.
I'm remembering things that I wish everybody could have seen.
And we all saw that unguardable, patented shot.
Top of the key.
Get the ball, he'll kind of face up.
One-legged fadeaway.
If that.
It was unstoppable.
It's over. I mean, it's butter.
The shot you can't get to.
Now, number 41 will forever be enshrined at the American Airlines Center.
It was an amazing ride.
A number that means something around here.
You can't really bring up the number 41 without bringing up Dirk.
This year I turned 41. It's my favorite year, my Dirk year.
I know Dallas is more of a football city.
7 to shoot, Nowitzki.
But I think he brings the Mavericks really close to that.
The man who created many moments over 21 seasons.
Wade puts it up for the win, and Dallas has tied the finals.
Visited children in hospitals, returned letters, autographed for hours. Has yet another honor.
People have come up to me and thanked me for my services. That's special. That's for sure special.
Dallas loves him just as much as he loves Dallas, if not more.
Number 41!
Dirk will always be 41, always a legend in Dallas.
Over Williams, jumper score!
And for once,
It is over to pass Wills.
this doesn't end in a fadeaway.
To sixth in NBA history in scoring.
In Dallas, I'm Jobin Paniker.
Alright, so these are uncured pepperonis.
Dinner time is a team effort in the Urich household.
I bought new cheese.
Misty runs the show
Heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up.
with the assistance of her girls and one puppy.
One day at a time. Some days it's one breath at a time.
Misty finds peace between the pages of a book.
This is just a testament to all of it.
They're what bound Misty to her husband Bowman. A blind date at a bookstore led to marriage and 4 daughters.
We all have our own room for a reason.
Sky, Juju, River,
We're all very, very different people.
and Rain.
Oh, I go now? Okay.
But in May 2019, her beloved Beau died in a car accident in West Texas. The girls,
They had to grow up really quick.
And sometimes we do our best work through adversity.
If they down block, you want to hit the outside edge.
She gets it, she understands it. The kids that are playing the sport don't understand what's going on the field the way she does.
I've never talked about this stuff.
She's talking and writing in calculus, and a lot of people are just talking fundamentals of math.
If the tackle blocks out versus a hi-hat, you're going to do something very different.
It's the beginning of a journey, the way I see it.
Rain found peace too.
This is my favorite page.
In between the pages of a notebook.
Look at this. There's another page. There's another page. You're going to see it.
Specific notebook, specific pens, which was like her dad. He only liked a particular pen. Let's see what we got up here.
Each page,
This one's like defending ace.
top to bottom,
Miranda part 2.
littered with football notes.
Full of defenses that she studied.
Part 3 is the continuation of part 2.
Every word
And I just have like all types of stuff in here.
handwritten.
Yeah. If you had asked me 3 years ago, like, oh, what's a 4-3 defense? I'd have been like, oh, what?
Because Rain Urich
Now I'm like, 4-3? So basic.
wants to be a football coach.
Go get your job done, you understand?
She will tell you if the house catches on fire.
1, 2, 3, yes!
She will grab her notebooks and her cap, probably in that order.
What's the deal with the notebooks?
That's kind of how it all started. I knew when I wanted to coach that I needed something a coach could hold and see and be like, she knows football. I could never just walk into practice and be like, I want to coach. Just let me coach.
First, she had to convince Alan Klein,
She knew more than a lot of coaches that I'd been around.
head coach of the middle school team.
One time she told me our linebacker has his eyes inside and the outside receiver is hooking them in and we're losing contain and they're running to the outside the whole time. And I was like, wow, you're right. And I didn't even see it.
If you can't teach what you know in a way that they'll be able to understand it, you're going to look stupid on Friday night. Mac, Rover. Her way of organizing, being able to look at a field and her back flares, strategize and watch all the players and put all that in place. He'd be a 3. This one would be a 1. She gets all that from her dad.
An engineer's daughter.
An engineer's daughter. Just because they're already... Oh, come on, get him!
Now a sophomore in high school, Rain is a student assistant coach at Plano Senior High under head coach Todd Ford.
She's one of us. She's a part of our staff, part of our program, and her family is as well.
My name is Dan Quinn. And
Her bedroom walls display letters
Go Saints, Dennis Allen, who dat?
from NFL and college coaches
Stickum, Dave Aranda.
offering words of encouragement.
So cool.
I hear you're being recruited.
Just a little bit.
She's a part of our recruiting list of potential prospects.
She's already had one try to recruit her. She's had several others talk to her.
I'm tired of this! I'm tired of it!
I was realistic with her. I said, do you know this is Texas? This is Friday Night Football. This is very much a boys' club. Is this really what you want to do? I feel like I just always have a fire under me.
Why?
I feel like I have a lot to prove. I feel as if I represent any other female coach. Well, if there's one bad female coach, someone may not take the next one.
There are female assistant coaches in the NFL and college football, but there has never been a female coordinator or head coach.
There's not. No, we're going to be warned.
Rain Urich just may become the first.
I laugh, her backup plan is to be a neurosurgeon.
It is very rare.
Very rare indeed.
River Urich, sophomore, Vines High School.
You see Rain
Urich, sophomore, Vines High School.
Juju Urich, sophomore, Vines High School.
Sky Urich, sophomore, Vines High School.
is a quadruplet. So if there's someone to beat the odds,
3, 2,
who better to write that chapter in the history books?
I got the first one.
Sometimes I'll just have an idea, and I'm like, this needs a notebook. This one sucks, actually. I won't show anybody this one.
She's trailblazed the whole thing. I just kind of drive her there and buy the notebooks.
In Plano, I'm Jonah Javad.
Booyah.
Smell paradise? It is.
Nothing seduces the senses quite like a work of art. The Levys have spent decades searching, collecting.
It's just part of who we are, actually.
But it's their latest piece you'll want to hear about.
Yeah.
Guaranteed you've never seen Allison Best's work, and she likes it that way.
It never occurred to me to ever break up with my art. You know what I mean?
Her mother was a high school art teacher, so naturally,
I've honed in realism skills.
she's had to.
This is adhesive.
For her clients.
And it's almost like fingernail polish.
Because what is real
How's the height?
can be scary.
We moved quickly because it was life-threatening.
How's that look?
Pretty good.
Last year, Jerry Levy was diagnosed with an aggressive skin cancer.
It's a difficult thing to go through. Your husband's really sick.
It is in that moment an artist finds inspiration.
They're coming in feeling like something's missing.
Once I've lined it up, then Jerry puts...
I take a look at it.
The fast-growing cancer had taken Jerry's right ear.
I won't let it be life-changing.
Leave all that life-changing to Allison. She is an anaplastologist.
What? Gesundheit.
Her small silicone molds are truly works of art. Her office filled with noses, fingers, ears.
Picasso did his thing. Rubin does his thing. She does her thing.
Getting these edges to fit a little bit better.
The colors, the texture, even down to the veining. She has perfected the imperfect.
You have a bad word in here.
Yep, the C word, cosmetic. We don't like it. Yep.
The word insurance companies use to not cover the work.
We don't use that. No, an ear is not cosmetic.
The better word around here,
and voila.
Yeah, there you go, babe.
Is complete.
They go to her because they want to be whole again.
And that's a concept only those who've lost will understand.
It's there, it's natural looking.
At the end of the day, going home and, being like, I made a difference.
I've now gone from 1 ear to 2 ears. I'm a normal human being.
Her art blends right into nature. Her canvases are walking among us.
You can see it, you just don't know about it.
No one would ever know.
An audience of one.
In McKinney, I'm Jobin Paniker. The lines drawn early in history.
This was a separated community and it was divided by the train tracks.
Have left a mark.
This area has a lot of history.
On people.
They're just indicators and the white is a sketch.
This is the east side of McKinney.
And places.
The silo sits at the entrance to the east side.
People don't pay attention to the details.
The push-pull relationship of layers.
But if physical and figurative lines can divide, they can also connect.
Everybody's talking about it.
He wrestles with it, that ultimately he's judged by everybody.
Guido Van Helten
I tell them I got a very strange job.
has an impossible job. An Australian artist who's charged with redrawing the lines.
I'm very particular about colors and shapes.
They are enormous canvases to work on.
The old concrete grain silos, a towering vestige of the past, but more importantly to the people here, an entrance to McKinney's east side.
There's a whole community here and there's depth to it.
Historically home to black and brown families.
You can mix skin tones from just two colors in blue.
He looked at the community that we are.
The first time I was wondering, is they gonna put some color to it?
Guido spent months just learning.
I always kind of feel like it's a second home, this space.
Documenting, finding
as many seats.
McKinney.
You know, so.
The artist is amazing.
To me, it feels like it's the first day at school and I don't know anyone.
And no one knew him. He took hundreds of photos around town to find one.
This was a moment in time.
She's a giant.
Mm-hmm.
The girl whose picture he captured one Juneteenth and whose gaze now captures a city.
Oh, it just melts your heart.
I see a celebration.
And she's like, come on, mama.
To many here, it is a perfectly placed invitation.
Allowing us to be reflective of what we've become.
He's just fantastic. Guido!
And it bends the lines drawn so long ago.
I can always look back, now I'm gonna look forward. That's what I get out of it.
I want people to see themselves in it.
It is one thing to identify with the mural,
But seemed like I know her too.
it is something else to be its identity.
A lot of people have a lot of interpretations of what it means.
Zoe King,
People are just astounded that it's so realistic.
a smart and humble 15-year-old,
That gaze that you get is so powerful because it's noticing you.
never saw Guido take that photo,
I didn't even know that the painting was going on at all.
never knew she was being painted.
I turn, I look, and I'm like, well, there's my face.
But she did know it was never about her.
It's obviously more than me.
It is what she represents.
There's no lie in those images. This is McKinney.
And this
This is what I felt, this is what I came across.
is her city.
It's almost like a new beginning to this side of McKinney. It's always been home to me.
Even 30, 40 years down the track after the paint fades
East side, west side.
and any lines do too.
I want people to feel it, read into it more, and feel something from it.
In McKinney,
This is home. This is home.
I'm Jobin Paniker.